Hey, how's it going, Miles?
It's good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for interviewing with IconicChroniclesMagazine.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And so, you are an amazing guitarist out there on the road making a way for yourself from the Bay Area.
Thank you.
And let the people know who aren't so familiar with you. Tell them about yourself.
My name's Miles Schon. I play in a band in the Bay Area. We travel up and down California, and I'm also a solo artist, so I'm doing some shows coming up here in the iHeartRadio Music Festival at the end of the month. And we're in New York City doing the Boiler Run and all kinds of shows coming up.
That's tight. How did you get started playing guitar?
You know, I picked up the guitar around 13, and I think I played bass for about a year before I picked up the guitar, really. But I just had some really cool music teachers at the school, and they encouraged me to, you know, stick with it and learn some blues chords and learned a couple of old rock tunes and just kind of evolved from there, you know.
That's tight. And you're also a great writer and vocalist.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been writing a lot lately in Nashville for a new project I'm doing called American Beauty, and that's with Madison Cain.
Sitting in a big white room alone, tilt my head back, feel the tears fall down.
We got almost a full album done right now, about 8 tracks, 9 tracks recorded, and we're going for another couple more. But I have my last EP out on iTunes right now called Miles and Madison.
And how did that do?
It's doing okay, you know. As far as sales, I don't think anybody really gets a lot of sales anymore unless you're a well-known artist, which I'm not. So, you know, I do great sales after a show. People want your music, but as far as, like, internet sales, it hasn't done great.
Well, you know, the internet's just kind of like a commercial for us to make in different forms, whether it be YouTube or having it available on iTunes or CD Baby. What the people really like is that good live show that you deliver.
That's the truth, and that's, like, honestly the only way to make a living at this music business anymore. My pops has been doing it for, I don't know, 40 years now, and if it wasn't for live music, he wouldn't. You know, you just don't make money off the CDs. Along with, you know, Santana being invited into those last couple albums of the original band, he has just kind of like seen it all and seen the music business change along the way. And I mean, he would be the first to say that he never wanted me to take this business seriously because he just knows how hard it is and how hard it's been for him to get back into the spot that he is now. And I watched him through it, you know, from the age that I started playing. He just started out with Journey again, and they started playing real small shows. And over the last 10 years, now they're playing almost stadiums in some places again.
Right. It comes back around, man.
It's wild. We put in a lot of hard work.
So you spent some time overseas as well, doing some music.
A band called Timelight. And I think this was like 4 or 5 years ago now, and I saw pretty much all of Germany. And once that tour was done, it was only about a month long, a little bit less than that. I took my guitar and took my bag, and I traveled around and got to see a bunch of different places in Europe. Pretty much everything I could until I ran out of cash. And you know, it was cool. Like, I got to fit in with musicians all over the place, and got a couple gigs in Italy where I met my family for the first time, and it's something that I'll always remember. And I hope to get back there again soon, see the UK, and you know, some other beautiful places like Greece, and there's so many places to see, you know. But yeah, I just toured with my dad over in Japan.
Wow.
Not playing with Journey. We did sit in with them on one of the last nights and did their encore. But I was opening up acoustically with Madison Cain in this new project, American Beauty.
Tell us about this project with Madison Cain.
It's really been great writing with Maddie, and I think it's just because she's like my little sister. We've grown up together listening to all the same music, and she moved to Nashville from the Bay Area about 4 years ago, pursuing her country career. And, I wasn't, not that I don't love country music, I just wasn't 100% interested in playing just straight ahead country music. And now I think she's coming back around to doing like kind of a crossover, actually it's really just rock, rock with a little bit of twang in it, I guess. Not quite southern rock, a little bit heavier than that too. And I'm excited because I don't even really know what to call it at this time. We have some great pop tracks, kind of pop rock tracks. We have some really heavy tracks too that are almost like Soundgarden-ish, and it's just a fresh sound, with a female vocalist to have something like that. I haven't heard anything like it yet.
Hey, that's amazing, and I'm glad to hear that you're fired up about some new material.
Yeah, man. I mean, it always gets like your heart going again, and you sit and you play gig after gig, and these people haven't heard your tunes, but you're already like, I've been playing these songs for a couple years now. I want to move on to some new material, so it's just a balance of making yourself happy and making everybody else happy at the same time.
Right. How are you balancing being a professional musician? It's tough, it's a gig by gig, session by session type of pay rate.
You know how gigs pay, really. Not enough to pay the bill. So for me, it's a session, and I'm gonna teach it. That's what my day gig is. Every day after school, I'm teaching kids from 2 onward to dinner time, really.
Wow, what an opportunity! How are you liking that?
I love it. Cause so many of these kids just remind me of me, and it's a little bit different. I wish I had the opportunity to take some, serious sit-down lessons for week after week like these kids do have. And some of them obviously take more advantage of that than others.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of ways is that driving you to think about music in a new way? Like having to go over particular things with them and set up a lesson plan? Is that doing something within you?
It keeps you on your toes because you got to be a step ahead as a kid always, I got some really talented kids come through. I had a couple students last year who just took off to college, and they were shredders, They were really, playing really well. Had been playing for many years before I ever met them. And it just keeps you on your toes. You got to know, you got to be one step ahead of them at all times. And it's really interesting as a teacher to get shown something by a student. And you can't have any kind of ego about that because that's just the beautiful thing about music. Everybody has something great to offer.
Right, and you're always a student of it, no matter how good you get.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long you've been playing,
That's what's up. And when you're in the studio, how do you map out your sessions?
Oh, it all depends on the session. Whether I'm just on a hip-hop track or, I'm doing a full-on session, cutting it live. Everybody kind of does their own thing and has their own approach to it because there's so many ways to go about it now, recording-wise. Mm-hmm. But as far as what I've been doing lately in Nashville, we cut it all live in the studio, and I'll send some of the session drummer, session bass player, the tracks 2-3 days ahead of time. Sometimes just the last time I just got back from Nashville was just the day before, and they're really rough demos, stuff just me and Madison hacking it out on an acoustic, and these guys are great, man. They sit there and they chart it out for themselves. And out in Nashville, they use the number system. So they come in there with a piece of paper that looks like a math equation and pretty much have our song nailed,
Wow.
And we work out the details, but 3 hours, we got 3 new songs, and it's a great feeling because it feels so natural, and it's coming out so naturally too. There's not a lot of time in overdubs. Everything just happens real quick and the way it should be.
That's what I was gonna say. 3 hours and 3 tunes flowing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that's pretty much how I've been doing it with my own group. Sometimes it takes a lot longer in other people's projects, but as far as my music, it hasn't been a struggle for me in the studio ever.
And I've always also heard that Nashville is a great place to record at.
Well, the place we're recording at is probably one of my favorite studios I've ever been in. It's a brand new studio. It's called Sound Addiction. And it's just, I would say I put it in the top 15 studios in all of Nashville. And that's all that place is studio after studio. I mean, I'm really feeling like we have the great situation here going for us, and I can't wait for the project to kind of wrap itself up for the first album, and we get out there doing some more stuff.
And when can we expect the project to be out?
With that, you know, I'm not 100% sure, because we're looking for some backing on it, and we're not completely done. We got another couple songs to cut, but we got an album's worth of material, so kind of just waiting around. She's enjoying herself over in the UK right now, and that's where our dads are at playing. So I'm waiting for her to get back. She's going to do a couple shows with me this summer, and then I'm going to do that show with her over in Florida, and hopefully we'll get back in to cut these last couple tracks here.
That's what's up. Was it tough for you coming up, having a famous father in a band? I mean, journey that's epic.
You know, I think the only tough thing about it is living where I live, because I came up in the same area that he came up in. So, you know, like Neal, Schon is a big deal where I'm growing up, and you're not going to meet anybody 30 plus who doesn't know who my dad is around the area.
Right.
So that's just like, that's the only tough thing, because where I live, it's the same thing with I'm sure the Grateful Dead kids and the Doobie Brothers kids. It's like all these guys have such a name for themselves worldwide, but especially in their hometowns, you know. So the expectation is high of you, and people are always going to be really judgmental. And, you know, I just said at a certain age, I had all these fears about that, and, you know, at a certain age, got over it, moved on, and, you know, figured that I was going to just be the best person that I can be, and make the best noise I can make out of that instrument, and make it become a part of me.
That's good word, man, and I wanted you to share that, because there's people with their parents have other professions, you know, but the neighbor may look at them like, your dad works at CNN, and are you going to work at CNN, or are you going to be as good as camera guy or landscaper or whatever that thing is? So that's good word for everybody. It just happens to be you to answer it today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everybody's got those things, and the thing is, we came from those people, so we have that, you know, already built into us, and in the DNA. My grandpa was a great jazz musician in the Bay Area, and that's what, like, really, you know, all the time I get asked about my pop, but it's really nice to hear from some of the old jazz cats that are still playing around the Bay Area. I have a story or two to tell me about my grandpa, and those are the ones that I really love to hear, because I hear about my dad every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, and he was a great musician, but he was just a different kind of musician who didn't want to be famous. He had no need to be in the spotlight, and there's so many people like that. So I feel like I got a mix of both of those men. Me that, you know, I really didn't even know my grandpa too well, so I feel like I'm learning about him through playing these gigs in the Bay Area and meeting these musicians who he really taught and played along with too as well.
That's hot, man, and it's just blending within your music and within your manhood and just coming out and making you a really great guy.
You know, I hope so. The best person you can be, right?
Right.
Crazy world.
Be all you can be. So what's next for you, man?
Shoot, what is next? I got a show in Walnut Creek on the 8th.
Okay.
And that'll be with my group. See here. After that, I got one in East Bay It's kind of it's like a summer festival they have once on every Wednesday, and it's kind of like a break for everybody who's got their jobs there in the East Bay, downtown Oakland, and it's called the Summer Sound Fest. It's on the 12th. Yeah, so this month I got the 8th, the 12th, and then I'm playing a couple other bands up until then, and then I'm off to Florida on the 27th, and the 29th is Brownsville. I'm sorry, I'm saying this month, so I'm thinking June right now.
Okay, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Well, man, we know you're busy. Is there any way you have a Facebook, Twitter, if someone wants some lessons, if someone needs guitar parts, if they want your presence on their record, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I got a Facebook and Twitter. I got a webpage, just mileshawn.com. And I think there's even a band page, too. This guy, Tim Hill, just set up for me. But, yeah, I'm real easy guy to get a hold of. You could even just contact me through Bananas at Large. My number's on their list for teachers. Yeah, so it's not hard.
That's what's up. So you guys look out for this new music he has coming out, and go check out Miles of Will all over the web. And like I said, man, we appreciate you hollering at us.
Alright, take care, Shannon.
You too.